with health updates and more. This is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Asked about balancing fan expectations for great matches and his character's disdain for indie mart culture, AEW's MJF said this on the Masked Man show. So here's my answer to that. I hate wrestling. Wrestling's my least favorite part of professional wrestling. I just so happen to be the best at it. And it's not my fault God made me this way. He made me better. And when I'm put in a certain situation and a talent is good enough, look, if it were up to me, every match I was in would be, 4 or 5 seconds long. Unfortunately, some guys are just more talented than others, right? Then there's situations where I have no choice but to go long, like that schmuck Bryan Danielson who, let's be honest, very overrated. I think we can all agree on that. Shoemaker, will you agree with me on that? Great. Highly overrated. Wasn't ever really all that good. So he wants an Iron Man match. So in a scenario like that, I have no choice but to wrestle for an hour. That's not something I wanted to do. I didn't want to wrestle for 59 minutes and 59 seconds with Will Ospreay. Now, did I beat both of the men I just mentioned? Of course I did, because I'm the best. But I'm not doing that because I want to make marks on Twitter feel all warm and fuzzy inside about my quote-unquote work rate. I could give a What I'm doing is trying to win at all times. If people want to discuss wrestling as an art form, that's cute, I guess. Like, for me, professional wrestling is a business, and it's a business that I just so happen to be very good at. The business is booming. On X, a user sent a message to former WWE star Kelly Kelly, writing, "I want to let you know all of your fan base will always be there for you, me personally. None of the female wrestlers ever got me to enjoy watching as much as you did. You're just on a whole nother place for every one of your fans. Hashtag WWE Evolution." Kelly replied, "Thank you, love. I was so honored to be invited to Evolution 2, to sit in the crowd. It just didn't feel like the right way to come back. I'll always be proud to have been part of the first. My heart is with every woman in that ring tomorrow. I'll be back when the time's right." While rumors have circulated regarding Britt Baker wanting to depart All Elite Wrestling, Ringside News said this: "Despite weeks of speculation, it looks like Britt Baker isn't going anywhere, after recent chatter suggested the former AEW Women's World Champion wanted out of her contract. New backstage reports are pushing back hard. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, not only is Baker not trying to leave AEW, but the belief internally is that she will be back in the mix eventually. While AEW officials haven't flat out confirmed her return plans, sources inside the company reportedly expect her to re-emerge when the timing works out. Tony Khan also recently addressed Baker's status during the AEW All-In media call. When asked about the conflicting reports, Khan said, "She's never talked to me about leaving, and made it clear she still has a lot of respect for her." He explained that AEW, like a sports team, has a limited number of spots on TV and sometimes has to rotate talent. Regarding Baker, Khan added that she'll be used when the time is right. Baker's last AEW match was back in 2024 when she defeated Penelope Ford. Since then, she's been absent from television, fueling online rumors and fan speculation about her future. However, insiders suggest that due to time missed from injury, her AEW contract could actually extend into 2027. So far, there is no confirmation of when or where she'll return, but the door clearly isn't closed, and the company still sees her as part of the roster. Explaining why she kissed Mercedes Moné after defeating her at AEW All In Texas, Toni Storm told those at the post-show media scrum, "I just always really wanted to do that, to be honest. She did say one thing about me. She said, 'Toni, you're a mark.' You know what? She's absolutely right. Maybe I'm just a mark. So I just wanted to kiss her, and I finally got to kiss her. I did not expect her to kiss me first. That was nice. But yes, I was always a big fan." After retaining his World Heavyweight title in a match against Goldberg at Saturday night's main event, Gunther noted during the recap show, "The thing about Goldberg in general is he's not a Mount Rushmore wrestler of this business or anything. Yes, using that knee brace was bringing me great joy. I like that. You know how they say, putting the thing in the wound. I have a degree in that. Even back then as a kid, I watched Legends and knew I'd be better. I proved myself right. I'm sitting here, I just retired Goldberg. Kicked out of the jackhammer. I choked him out in the middle of the ring. I gave him the honor of being retired by one of the greatest to ever do this." Recalling the time he destroyed the Young Bucks limo on AEW Dynamite on July 9th, Swerve Strickland said this to Comic Book Nation, 100%, 150%. Anything that clean and like having luxurious facing destruction is awesome. And me being like the responsible one for the destruction made it even better. And like I remember they were like, "Oh, you might need a license to control this thing." I'm like, "No, I'm driving this thing today." Like, "No, like I'll pay the fine later, but I'm going to drive this. It has to be me." Like I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like fiddling with it too much while doing all this stuff and like, "Oh, how do I open the jaw?" I learned like a couple moves with it and I was like, "That's all I need. I'll do the rest out there," and yeah. So, but it was a great time. It was awesome. It was fun. I just like truly creating like must-watch TV. And as much as I love like the like great in-ring grappling and stuff, also like creating moments. And so like I was there when this happened. I remember like right the last Dynamite before going into All In, Swerve smashing the limousine of the Young Bucks with an excavator. I remember where I was when I saw that. You know, like these are the next generation of kids that were creating memories of wrestling on for like an early age. So like I love creating these big, crazy, chaotic moments that they're going to remember and carry on to like their adulthood and then show their kids wrestling too, because that's what we grew up on. Seeing like crazy antics and stuff like that when I was like 8 and 10 years old. We still talk about it to this day and revisit that stuff. So I always wanted to be one. Like I want to have moments like that. You know, the matches are incredible. I love doing it, but I want to make moments like that people just are going to always remember. Bringing up why Harley Cameron did not get physical at AEW All In Texas, AEW President Tony Khan noted during the post-show media scrum, "Harley's another great example. I did get Harley physically featured, but there's only so much she can do. She's still limited from contact. Obviously, she's wearing that mask, but I did want to have Harley out there, and she did have a great reaction." Cameron was injured at the end of May and had surgery on June 21st on her nose, as it remains to be seen when she returns to in-ring action. Defending WWE's relationship with Saudi Arabia, Cody Rhodes told the Boston Herald, "I don't want to be negative, but I will say there is this whole gotcha culture over who is a Democrat, who is a Republican, who is a moderate, and who people support. None of these things really should be anybody's business, because our business is going where our show goes, which is all over the world, and hopefully bringing people together. WWE is a nonpartisan brand. We go where the show goes." One of the biggest eye-opening moments when you go to Saudi Arabia with WWE is when you look out at the fans. There is such a similarity between those who are hungry for WWE back home and those who are hungry for it in Europe and those who are so hungry for it all over the world. I feel so honored, especially in tumultuous times, to be able to go. As Adam Cole hinted at retirement after vacating the TNT title due to health issues, AEW President Tony Khan provided some information on this, saying during the post-show media scrum for All In, "Yesterday we were absolutely planning. Even last night when I was at ROH Supercard of Honor, we were planning for the pay-per-view. We had absolutely put everything in place for Adam Cole to defend the TNT title against Kyle Fletcher. Coming out of Collision, we had a trios match with Kyle Fletcher, RPG Vice versus the Paragon. The trios match. Coming out of it, Adam Cole, he came back. We talked. He was definitely planning to be at the pay-per-view, and even yesterday we had talked. But somewhere between late last night and earlier this morning, we talked and he wasn't feeling well. And that's the unpredictable nature of some of these kinds of injuries. And I think it's important that Adam Cole takes time to get right. Right now, there's no clear idea of when Cole will be able to wrestle or even speak to fans again." When it comes to information on Seth Rollins suffering an injury during Saturday night's main event, Ringside News wrote that WWE brought Saturday night's main event to Atlanta, Georgia's State Farm Arena. Nearly 12,000 fans were in the building, and they saw Seth Rollins suffer a bad loss and an injury too. Seth Rollins suffered what appeared to be a knee injury during the show. Now we have an update on the matter, but it's not the best news. Ringside News has learned that Seth Rollins' injury is real. There is no word at this time how bad things are, but it wasn't part of the show. After landing awkwardly, Rollins held his knee, and the match quickly moved to the finish, with LA Knight securing the win. Sources indicated this was an audible, as Rollins had originally been scheduled to win. Backstage, the initial word was that the injury was legitimate and not something medical personnel had been prepared for. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.